Hey guys, it's me, Shrek Nature Kinda Awesome, doing Teen Titans Go Sucks here again. And yes, I'm doing another SpongeBob Rant episode. But this time it's on one course meal. So yeah, anyways, enjoy this rant. Sorry if this rant is late, but I'm gonna do this rant really quick, hopefully. So yeah, anyways, enjoy. Today I am going to do a review slash rant on one course meal. So basically what the plot is, SpongeBob is working at the Krusty Krab, and Mr. Krabs is, with his money, he's doing his money crap because he's so stingy and so selfish and so greedy and so malevolent and so lamentable. Oh my god. Until they smelled trouble, and it was Plankton. Plankton wanted the Krabby Patty formula. Mr. Krabs like, screw you, I'm not giving you your me secret formula. But then Mr. Krabs' daughter, Pearl, comes in, and all of a sudden Plankton becomes petrified because it turns out that Plankton was petrified of whales, and he vanished. And Mr. Krabs was like, Pearl, that was awesome. Can I can I can I make a design disguise as you so I can scare the living hell out of Plankton? And eventually, what did you know, Mr. Krabs actually does scare Plankton and makes his life a living hell. So yeah, this is a Plankton Torment Festival, believe it or not. This is a Plankton Torment Festival. Cause that proves that Mr. Krabs is the real main antagonist, not Plankton. Plankton's the innocent one in this episode. That makes you want to feel sorry for Plankton. Just like it makes you want to feel sorry for Squidward with his Squidward Torment Festival. Yeah. At least seasons 5 through 9, the only good characters from those seasons was Squidward and Plankton. That was it. None of the characters were likable at seasons 5 through 9. Especially Mr. Krabs. So anyways, Plankton has a nightmare, and yes, it's about whales. Pearl, it's like a horror film it's like one of those horror films. Plankton runs away from Pearl, and Pearl is gonna eat him, and of course she eats him, and Plankton gets swallowed by her, and yeah. He sees one of his family members, and he turns into a skeleton, and that's what's left of him, and Plankton I feel so bad for Plankton at the episode, like really. But do you want to know what's the worst part? One day, Plankton's life was like a living hell, and Mr. Krabs keep tormenting him non-stop. Plankton, you know what Plankton does? He actually tries to commit suicide by getting run over. Dude, what the hell? That's a freaking... What the hell? This is supposed to be a freaking kid show. That reminds me of an episode of Family Guy where Meg didn't have a love of her life and she tries to commit suicide. And Brian encourages her, don't do that. And Brian's like, how about I be your boyfriend? And Meg's like, you do that for me? And he's like, are you gonna kill "Are you gonna kill yourself if I said no?" And Meg's like, "Yeah," something like that. Or, or yet it reminds me also of a TV show called South Park. Yeah, yeah, and there there were some scenes where South some of the characters from South Park actually kills each other, and yeah, that's basically what it's like. One scene from Family Guy, and it feels like a and it feels like a South Park ripoff as well. Feels like a ripoff to South Park this episode, and the scene where Plankton tries to commit suicide. And it might be kind of a ripoff of a scene from Family Guy in a way. Even though I like both of these shows. So, anyways, SpongeBob talks to Mr. Krabs, and he's like, Plankton's killing himself because his life is a living hell. And what does Mr. Krabs? How does Mr. Krabs feel? He feels very proud of himself. I hope you go to jail, Mr. Krabs, cause you do know that committing suicide is murder, right? And yeah, and Plankton wants later on. Plankton wants to know what Mr. Krabs' feel was, and SpongeBob whispers it to him, and he becomes vengeful, and yeah, and then later on when he goes into the Krusty Krab, Plankton becomes fearless, and Mr. Krabs dresses up as Paul, and yeah, and Plankton's like, "You don't scare me anymore." And Plankton actually shows Mr. Krabs his biggest fear, and it's mime. It was a mime. Like, seriously? A mime? Like, are you serious? How is mime scary in the first place? They don't even talk or do anything but anything but yeah. And SpongeBob's like, Plankton, we have a bit of a problem. And group of whales come, and Plankton becomes so petrified he vanished again. And SpongeBob rescues Mr. Krabs, and he said, "Thank you, SpongeBob, me boyo." And the mime comes in, and Mr. Krabs was less than afraid, and instead he's like, "Okay, you're really creeping me out now." And that's basically what the plot for this episode is. This is a mean-spirited episode, like really. This is one of the worst SpongeBob episodes. It's actually my number 5 worst SpongeBob episode. The jokes were gruesome, and the humor was very offensive and despicable. And there was a scene where it kind of ripped off of Family Guy and South Park in a way, where where Plankton commits suicide. Yeah, like that wasn't funny. That was just that was just that was heartbreaking to look at. I mean, really, it's heartbreaking to see a character killing themselves. Like, really, that's so heartbreaking. And not to mention, Mr. Krabs is the main antagonist, because he torments Plankton non-stop at this episode. Mr. Krabs is the number 1 main antagonist in this episode, especially from seasons 5 through 9. Plankton is the innocent one, and he doesn't do any harm. He didn't do any harm, at least from seasons 5 through 9. Mr. Krabs is the biggest antagonist. Not only he's a despicable person, but he's malevolent as well. He really is a malevolent character. He turned really evil and selfish in seasons 5 through 9. That's how unlikable Mr. Krabs is, especially in this episode. Like, really, I seriously hate the seasons 5 through 9 Mr. Krabs even more than seasons 5 through 9 SpongeBob. He is a cold-hearted, cash-grabbing, money-loving, malevolent, selfish, penny-pinching, greedy, butthurt villain, I should say. He's the villain and he's the main antagonist. And he's so unlikable as well. Makes me want to punch Mr. Krabs in the face, seasons 5 through 9 at least. Just like it makes me want to slap SpongeBob, seasons 5 through 9 in the face for harassing and tormenting Squidward as well. Especially with Patrick as seasons 5 through 9 as well. So yeah. Sorry if the video is getting longer. I'm doing my best. This is my number 5 worst SpongeBob episode ever. This episode sucks. I give this episode a 0 out of 10 and don't watch it. It sucks. It's a gruesome episode and it's really mean-spirited. Don't watch it. It's horrible. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's nightmarish. It's not a good episode at all. It's really bad. This episode was not enjoyable at all. Nothing was. And it felt like a horror story as well. This episode's really bad. And even the title makes me want to cringe. Might as well change it to one cringy meal. Well, that was my review / rant on one course meal. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Shrek and H Kinda Awesome doing Teen Titans Go Sucks here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on my next video. And I'll see you guys later.